best for him as a band leader and a musician. He played the clarinet, the saxophone, all 5 saxophones he played. He played the banjo. Sometimes he played the trumpet. Sometimes he played the trombone. Sometimes he played the drums. That pretty well covers it. I'm not sure, but I think that the jury is still out as to whether he's really a singer or not. Good old Lance had a habit of getting to the job at the last second. And if the stoplight 40 miles away turned red, he was going to be late. That's all there was to it. So we had, the members of his band had this routine that we learned over time, that after 10 minutes, we would play one tune and then stand by after that 10 minutes, ready to play. And the tune we played was one that he always started the job with, so when he came 10 minutes late to tell us what to play, we always said, "We've done that already." But just a little bit, we got even with him from the English. And that tune, it's called At the Jazz Band Ball. He's going to be a little late tonight. And now, as she often did with Lance's band, she's going to go up and sing one of her favorites, Miss Susie Francis.
Just in case you didn't know, this band is the original band of Lance's. Jack Fulton, Gavin Hussey, Donnie Clark, Frank Mansell, Paul Woolen, Wayne Richard. It's close, very close, very close. Lance is one of the few men in my life that only wanted me to sing. He taught me more about jazz and the history of jazz and music in this particular genre that I fell in love with it. I used to be a country western singer, and I ended up doing jazz. And it's a love that I will live with for the rest of my life because of Lance Harrison. I don't know whether to love him or hate him for it. But if I don't do this song, I know he will never forgive me. He'll haunt me forever. So I have to sing this one. It's one that he made me learn 22 years ago. And after that, every time I sang it, he said he hated it. I hope you're listening, sweetie, because you're going to hate it again. In the key of G, gentlemen. Are you with me? So far? That's my weakness now.
He's got eyes of blue. I never cared for eyes of blue, but he's got eyes of blue, and that's my weakness now. He's got a dimpled chin. I never cared for a dimpled chin, but he's got a dimpled chin, and that's my weakness now. Oh my. Why? He likes to bill and poo. I never cared to bill and poo, but he likes to bill and poo, and that's my weakness now.
Thank you, Sue. And now the Dixieland band that Lance had been playing with this last decade, I imagine. Seems not such a terribly long time ago. Red Beans and Rice.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rice Honeywell, and it's been my privilege to know Lance Harrison for these last 7 or 8 years. I've been in White Rock, in the Vancouver area now for about 10 years, and I first met him down at the Pacific Inn in White Rock with the Red Beans Jazz Band. And he's been with us ever since, right up till the very last, and he's been a wonderful friend. Lance is, as we all know, a rare person and a wonderful person. So we put together the band that we all had all these years with the help of Jimmy Armstrong today. And there's one thing I'd like to say about Lance, and that is when we made, and I won't be very long on this, when we made a CD just a little over a year ago, we made a duo. My wife has been asking for a long time, would you please make a recording of Lance to me? So we made one with Ron Sorley, the Metro Stompers from Toronto. Ron and Lance were about the same vintage. So we got them together on the Steinway piano, and we had a wonderful afternoon of informal jazz, and we made a CD of it. And the only reason I really mention this is the fact that at the end of the recording, we did the A-Train, and Lance said, marvelous, marvelous. And Ron Sorley said, Lance, it's been a real pleasure. And that's what we named the CD. And so I just want to say that about my friendship with Lance, it's been a real pleasure to know this wonderful man. So we're going to celebrate a little bit right now and do a tune that Lance played with us many, many times and loved to play, the Tishomingo Blues. joy to celebrate Lance's life with all the guys that have played with him so often.
I wanna be right up there in that number when the saints go marching, when the sun refused to shine, yeah, when the sun refused to shine, I wanna be right up there in that number when the saints go marching and singing on that slide.
Yeah, I'd like to say the members that were with us for many, many years. David Griggs on the trombone for many years down at the Big Palace. He lives over the island now, but we're happy to have him here. On the double bass, Casey Tolhurst has been with us most of that time. Jenny Marsh has been with us from the very beginning, and is now with the Grand Division. is, of course, Jimmy Armstrong with the Grand Indian Tube, and we're happy to have him with us today. Jimmy Armstrong. On the clarinet, one of the very early original members of the Red Beans and Rice, Charlie Wright. Yes, Charlie. And we have John Nolan, of course, on the drums. Where is he? John. One of the best in the business. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to introduce a tune right now. Jimmy Armstrong is going to join Alistair Taylor on the piano, and Jimmy will play the trumpet and sing a wonderful tune called Dear Bix. And it suits Lannis Harrison's life very beautifully, and they're going to do that right now. Thank you.
Most of us think of Lance as being a reed player, but actually, two of his big favorite musicians were Louis Armstrong and Vic Spiderbeck. And I remember going to his house several times and asking him sort of naively, "Hey Lance, have you got any Bix records?" Well, as a Pope Catholic, and he would almost jump out of his chair and go up and get the records down and sit there with a glow listening to Bix. 1976, a gentleman by the name of Dave Frischberg wrote this song called Dear Bix. I would like to do it now and dedicate it to Lance, and especially on the very last line, I'm going to just change the lyric one little bit at the very end. This is a very quiet song, so if the people down at the bar can hold it down, we'll go. Dear Bix. Old friend, are you ever going to comprehend? You know, ordinary standard B-flat, run-of-the-mill type guy. Oh my, no, Bix, old elf, will you ever learn to look at yourself like the others around you who love you and never, never ask why? And seriously, Bix, old bear, don't you dig that big blue sky up there? Admit it, wouldn't it be nice to cut yourself a slice of that pie up there? I wonder, Bix, old chum, when you reminisce in years to come, will you ever hum that someday song you've been looking so long to find? So do what you've got to do, and may the years be good to you, 'cause you're one of the favored few, dear Bix, you're one of a kind. And seriously, Bix, old bear, don't you dig that big blue sky up there? Admit it, wouldn't it be nice to cut yourself a slice of that pie up there? I wonder, big old chum, when you reminisce in years to come, will you ever hum that someday song you've been looking so long to find? So do what you've got to do, and may the angels smile on you, 'cause you're one of the favorite few, dear Lance. You're one of a kind.
That's for Lance. Thanks, Lance. Thank you. And you're also doing good. Ladies and gentlemen. I think it was Art Hodes wrote that the giants have been and gone, but we still have their music and we still have their stories. And just recently, one of those giants has left us, but we are here today to celebrate his life and to remember his music and to remember his story. Now, I think as we look about us, we see the evidence of a life well lived. And Lance was a great hero of mine. I was a little younger than him, and I was always looking up to him and wished that I could be more like him. There were so many things about Lance I admired. I admired his good looks. He was taller than I was. He also was more attractive to women than I was. And he had an enormous talent. And in a friendly way, I envied him in every way, and especially envied the wonderful career that he had. He played the music he loved, which was the music I loved, and he was able to forge a full-time and very, very successful career out of Dixieland jazz, which by the time that he was playing it was already out of date. And I also admired in the latter years how he persevered in pursuing that wonderful activity of his, of playing so beautifully. I admired the way his tone. I loved the sincerity with which he played. And I loved the wonderful ease with which he seemed to play. Not that he played things that were easy, but he made them seem easy because the melodies just seemed to flow out of him. The last festival that I was with Lance was in Chilliwack. And he was still going. But by then, old age had firmly laid his hand upon Lance's shoulder, and all the ordinary things in life became very difficult, like finding the stage, ascending the stage, and bending way down to pick up the tenor. But once he got the tenor up and got the mouthpiece between his lips, the music flowed from him as it always has. Now we're going to play a song that I learned from Lance. I learned by playing with him. It's a little hymn called Just a Little While to Stay Here. But as an introduction, I'd like to do a little Irish song of farewell. I don't think Lance ever heard this song because it wasn't jazz. But I'm sure if he had heard it, he would concur with the sentiments implied in the song. Oh, all the money I have spent, I spent it in good company. And of all the harm that I done, it was, alas,
as to none but me. And with all I've done for lack of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades there I had were sorry for to see, sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts there I had would wish me one more day to stay. And since it falls upon my lot that I should go and you should not, then I'll gently rise and gently fall. Good night and joy be with you all. very much. We'd like to invite to the stage a singer that Lance is very fond of, Carol Dillon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everybody. Nice to see everybody here today. I met Lance when I was about 4 years old, when I turned up one Saturday morning, long ago, for tap dancing lessons with his former wife, Virginia. I've known him ever since, and I can't even begin to explain to you the blessing, the musical blessing that man has been to me all through my life. So here's one of his favorites.
Say a few words. Val, you're on. Hi there. million stories to tell you each other. You've been telling them already this afternoon, but you have many more to tell. I'd just like to interject a few. I won't keep you long. But I have some favorite memories of Lance's life, and I'd like to share them with you. We knew each other a long, long time. I knew him from the late 30s when we were playing ballrooms up on Broadway. He was with the Trevor Page Orchestra at the Alma Academy, and I was with a group called Johnny Matthews of the Peter Pan. Later, Lance went to the Palomar with the Trevor Page Orchestra, and I mention those two bands, and our bands particularly, because much has been made of Lance's appreciation of Dixieland, his understanding of jazz and Dixieland here this afternoon. But he also had an open mind. He enjoyed the sweet bands. He knew their purpose. In fact, with me, for many years, he wrote a lot of my arrangements. But before that, he had his own big band. He wrote for big bands. You all know that. But he had his band at the Euro Room on Burrard Street, just down from the Hotel Vancouver, in the late 40s, after being discharged from the RSCAF band, where the announcer used to come out on the air and say, "Welcome to Vancouver's downtown paradise, where you're invited to enjoy the romancing and dancing of music beyond comparison, as styled by Lance Harrison." Well, in spite of the enticements that invitation offered, the Euro Room didn't last too long, and Lance went to other areas, other bands. You know about most of them. I brought along a picture. I hope you'll all look at outside there. That was the 1951 band at the Palomar, when Lance was a member of that band. Shortly thereafter, he joined me at the Panorama Roof, and for many years wrote my sweet arrangements. I mean, tenor band sounds. Many of you know what a tenor band means if you're of a vintage. With strings, but he appreciated it, and he wrote them very well, extremely well. So he was threefold in my band. First of all, he played such jazz as we required. He wrote the string arrangements, and then he, in the band of 10 of us, was the one who could most quickly, at intermission time, get from the Panorama Roof to the Harvey Street liquor store and back again. Always got back in time for the downbeat, too. Of course, after that long run, he needed a drink. By the way, Lance, the bar just opened, but I thought you'd like to know that. But you share the memories that I do, but I'd like to enlarge on his talents. For 4 years, he was writing for a show called Some of Those Days, which Neil Sutherland produced for CBC television nationally. And he wrote for all the stars: Lorraine McAllister, Roma Hearn, Barney Potts, Pat Morgan, Carl Norman, Ross Laidley. He wrote for them all. Wonderfully talented. And most of the time he wrote on time. Lance is a dear, treasured friend of most of us, all of us here this afternoon. But what surprised me, and I should have known this, but when his death was announced in the paper last week, the people I've met during the course of the week, throughout the city, whatever level, whether it was going to a luncheon in the Canadian Club at the Terminal City Club, or whatever, wherever, people would come to me and say, "Gee, we lost Lance Harrison, man." All strata of life. It was marvelous to see, and that's what Lance did. He was able to penetrate into people's lives. He was a presence. You knew when he was in the room. He was a presence. He made himself visible, not only physically, but he represented Lance Harrison, and we appreciated that, and we all enjoyed it. This is a little tune that he wrote. I'm just going to conclude with it. He put it in my book. Is Doug behind me? No, Doug's not. Where is he? Doug Parker. Can I get you back in the bandstand? Lance wrote a lot of good stuff for me, and this is one of the tunes that I've always enjoyed. We played it ever since, and he wrote it for my book 40 years ago. Dance if you wish. You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and lost songs, never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, man must have his mate, that no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by.
One of Lance's deep loves was ice cream, and much to the chagrin of some of the nurses who thought it might be bad for his health last week, Lonnie persevered and got it cleared through the nutritionist and the doctor, and they had a conference and decided, the hell with it, we'll do it. And they gave him some Haagen-Dazs, and it could be Lance's last word was, marvelous.